I am hearing from the producer that we have Pete Buttigieg with Ed in the spin room. Is that right? There we go.
Yes, Tanya. We have Mayor Buttigieg here with me. Can you hear me?
Ed.
Yes, you can, I hope. All right, here we go. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
One thing I hear from your team that you were kind of frustrated you didn't get to talk about tonight was the question asked about whether you would keep combat troops in Afghanistan. Having served there, obviously, an issue of importance to you.
Well, it is. When I was leaving Afghanistan years ago, I thought I was one of the last troops turning out the lights. And we need a commander-in-chief who understands how to bring an end to that conflict and how to prevent endless war from consuming the United States. There were a lot of military and veterans issues, some of which we didn't get to this evening, including the president's pardoning of war criminals, which he's casting as if it's pro-military. I can't think of something worse for the military than a president who equates being a war fighter with being a war criminal and says that you can just expect these things to happen. That's a slander against the uniform and against the flag. And I wanted to weigh in on the issue of service, which is so important. And it is actually my military service that motivates my desire to create more non-military service opportunities. Look, the military is not for everybody, but the idea of creating 1 million paid voluntary national service opportunities a year is to give every American that same chance to work together with diverse Americans from different backgrounds on important things without you having to be sent to war in order to get it.
The moment with Congresswoman Gabbard seemed to get under your skin the most there towards the end when she raised the question about your situation or your proposal with Mexico. The idea being that there should be continued law enforcement and military cooperation, I guess, was the heart of the issue. But
yeah,
I could tell from your body language you just were not pleased at all with anything she was saying.
Frustrated with Washington-style attacks that pull quotes out of context. So, look, I'd be happy to have a substantive discussion about U.S.-Mexico relations. We need to strengthen our relationship with Mexico in order to make sure that we're partnering on issues of mutual interest, especially when it comes to security and immigration. And, that often has included law enforcement and other kind of security partnerships. I favor continuing and deepening those relationships, but that's obviously that's not how the topic was brought up tonight.
Liz is going to get very mad at me, but I want to ask one very specific question about New Hampshire, because I know of a Republican in New Hampshire who sees your rise and sees your campaign's sort of visibility expanding out there in the state, voted for Trump in the last election, now looking at you and thinking, there may be something there. What is the pitch to a Trump voter in the past who's now looking at the Democratic field and thinks you might be the person?
Well, we're seeing a lot of folks like that. And the pitch is we're not going to agree on everything, but I think we can agree that we need to restore decency and dignity to Washington, that this president is as insulting to Republican values as he is to the progressive and Democratic values that I believe in, and that we can put together a coalition to build a different future. Again, we're not going to agree on everything, but my biggest message to somebody like that is welcome, come aboard, and let's work together.
All right. You're generous as your time, Mayor.
Good to be with you.
It was a question he likes. Don't worry. Trying to get him right now. It's violent out here. Look at this. Okay, people.